go on another adventure, or may I say, two adventures in one morning. Now, my first approach to this episode was going to be in complete and utter frustration. And I'll tell you why. As most of you know, and something that I mentioned in the last episode, I have been attempting to get to the edge of our galaxy, the Milky Way, and to observe it from a distance. That's kind of been my goal the last few days, and in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I am going to get to the edge of the galaxy through beyond body, I guess is what I was thinking, instead of astral projecting and getting there. By the way, I think if I astral projected and did this, it would probably be instant. I'd probably be able to get to this place pretty quickly. I could leave my body and then poof, I would be floating at the edge of our galaxy and just observing. But for some reason, I have been really trying to do this through beyond body, and the two experiences this morning were two attempts of me trying to do this, two experiences that I'll go over with you. And I think it's so funny. I sat here and I thought about it. I wrote it down first before I actually started this episode. I wrote it down and I just sat in my chair and I thought about it. And again, I was feeling so frustrated when I opened my eyes because this morning, it's been about, about 30 minutes or so since it happened, maybe. But I sat here so frustrated that I wasn't able to get to this goal. And then it just dawned on me that, normally if I request something, my guides will take me to the place that I want to go. They've normally done it and they've shown me things, but this time the two experiences that I had, by the way, were very different than one another, and they had nothing to do with going to the edge of the galaxy. Okay, so let me let you know this right now, that was the case. But I think what I've learned so far with this is just to appreciate the experience and not get so caught up in, I want to go here, I want to go there. Just let it flow, But even someone like myself, an experienced traveler, I guess you might say, we get ourselves kind of turned around at times as well. And that's another reason why I wanted to share this experience with you, because I wanted you to know that even those that have been doing it for many, many, many years struggle. We do. Even though I'm sure you can go on the internet and find people where it seems like they're perfect in what they do and they always get to go, to these really amazing places and all this other stuff. But I'm here to tell you that this is not always the case, at least in my experience. I've seen some amazing things, but there are times when I'm not necessarily seeing truly amazing things. But it's interesting because I think the point here is that it's all really, truly amazing. All of it. Being able to do what I do is amazing. And, that's it. I should just appreciate it. But anyway, I've gone on way too long explaining this before I get into my experiences. Let me get into my experiences right now. So the first experience, let me begin with the vision that I had before it started. Now, as you know, these things happen for me most of the time when I'm really tired in the morning. I can shut my eyes and I see things. And in the very beginning this morning, when I closed my eyes, I was able to at one point see into a world almost like looking through a peephole. I was seeing something. Now, I don't remember much about this first part of things. I think I might remember a pool, and I might remember some buildings and some other things, but there's not much I can provide for you in this vision. But this vision led to something else. So I was kind of checking things out for a while. Whatever it was that I was seeing this place, whatever world it was, and I was just kind of like, okay, this is interesting. It's interesting to check this out. And then I felt that familiar sense of motion. And for those of you who have obviously been following the beyond body experiences, or sometimes I'll kind of put this in there too, what Robert Monroe called locale 3, having the ability, to be able to travel to different realities. I felt that motion that I feel when I go to a different reality, and I was like, okay, this is happening. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, focus on going to the edge of the galaxy, and I'll be able to see it. And now, again, maybe some of you are thinking, well, if you're in another reality, you have a body or a consciousness, how would you be able to get to the edge of a galaxy? And I'm just simply going off the fact that I have been able to go to some places that are really far away. Once, I believe I went to like the beginning of time, and that was another episode that I did where it was kind of a journey backwards to the beginning. And I saw all these amazing things, and I felt like I was wearing a suit or something. I can't explain it all, but that was my logic in thinking that I could be also then brought to the edge of the galaxy this time. If I can go back to the beginning of time, why can't I go back or go to the edge of the galaxy? So that was what my logic was in all this. And so I was thinking that in my mind. I had it in my mind, focused on it. And I started slowing down. Then I felt as if I sort of turned and then went downward and stopped. And then, for whatever reason, as the area began to reveal itself, I felt like I was standing up, as if I was standing up from lying down. And when I stood up, I looked around and I was still in my apartment after all that motion. And I was like, what in the universe is going on? This was a case where I thought that I hadn't gone anywhere, but in fact, I did. I was in another reality. I was in another version of my apartment, and I looked around, and this isn't the first time this has happened with me. This has happened on multiple occasions where I thought I'd gone somewhere, and I honestly did not go anywhere, or at least I didn't think that I had gone somewhere, and I actually did, because I was in my apartment, but in another version of my apartment. And I was like, in those past experiences and in this particular experience, I was like, well, why? I traveled. I know I did. Why didn't I go anywhere? And there's a bit of frustration, and then suddenly I'm back. I opened my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I did go somewhere, but I went to another version of my apartment, a very similar version of my apartment, to the point where I didn't think that I had gone anywhere. And in this particular experience, that is exactly what occurred. So I laid there back with my eyes open, and I thought, let me try this again. So I shut my eyes again. Now, I know it's rare that I can do it 2 times in a row, but after a little bit of time, I again felt that familiar motion. And I was like, okay, here we go again. Number 2 experience number two. Let's see what happens. I again focused on being at the edge of the galaxy, thinking, okay, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And then I could feel the motion and I could feel it going really, really fast. And at some point, my surroundings revealed themselves, but I was still in motion. And I was moving, boy. Let me tell you something. I was going down some street in some city. Again, I don't know what this city was. It looks similar to any maybe downtown area you would be in any major city, maybe. And I was moving in reverse. And everything was passing by so fast. It was a blur. And I was moving in reverse. I don't think I had settled in on any specific consciousness. I think maybe perhaps this is what it looks like. Normally my experience is when I'm in motion, it's in darkness. Maybe this is what it looks like when you can see things and you're moving. I'm not sure. But all I know is I was hauling butt, moving backwards, moving through this city of some sort in reverse. And again, the thought popping in my mind of this is not the edge of the galaxy. I am not at the edge of the galaxy. However, I'm moving through a city backwards, and it's an amazing feeling doing that, having that motion and seeing all this stuff whip past you. Or I guess you're going in reverse. I guess you're still seeing things whip past or whatever. But I tell you, it was amazing, but I wasn't appreciating it as I was seeing it. And at another point, I started to slow down a little bit, but then, I know this is going to sound really strange, I saw a series of helicopters, and these helicopters were very strange looking ones. Now, I've seen small helicopters before. They were about the size of a car. I think they were yellowish, maybe, or golden. I don't remember much about, well, I remember a little bit about them. I remember enough to know that they were small and they were moving kind of in a line. And when I saw them, I almost felt like I might have been in one of those helicopters. I'm not 100% sure. I was seeing it from the perspective of someone looking on the outside, though. And even though there are smaller helicopters in this reality, this did not look like a helicopter I'd ever seen in this reality. It was a strange looking helicopter. And again, if you're looking for details, the only thing I can tell you was it was small, it was golden, it had the helicopter blades like other helicopters do, but the shape was somehow off or different. It was very strange. I guess it was a very kind of parallel reality thing. I'm not sure. But as I was seeing this, I was brought back to this reality, back to my apartment. I opened my eyes again. And again, I sat there in frustration thinking, why can't I get to the edge of the galaxy? But I have to tell you, lesson learned. And this is the lesson of this experience that I've learned personally, is that I don't think you can get so caught up in going to a place. Just experience each place as it comes to you and go from there. Now, again, I'm sure that I could astral project and go to the edge of the galaxy, and I may actually end up doing that. And I will let you know when that comes, or if that comes. But for now, I think I've learned a very valuable lesson with this. And, I am definitely enjoying these beyond body experiences. They are truly fascinating. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.